And he has plenty of time to work his way up that KDA order. He's certainly the highest RPG player, so that's pretty good. Whereas Alufal, only a little bit higher than him, not by much. Alufal not even the highest player on his team, that being 365. As we are seeing a CE map choice, they're taking us to the Sky Temple.
All right, yet another round of Sky Temple it is. Seems that our Chinese teams really enjoy playing that battleground today. And especially when there's CE in the mix, you never know where they're going to take you. Could be the Towers of Doom, which we haven't seen a single time today. But could also be a more standard route, of course, at any given moment.
That is the possibility. Whitemane immediately banned out by CE. Very cool. It's an interesting hero that we just haven't seen at all today. But no, we have seen it once today, haven't we? Yeah. So the possibility is there, but it's a question of which team's willing to play it, if at all, and the answer is CE, absolutely not.
At this point, what I find a little awkward and a little bit surprising when watching all these Chinese drafts over and over again is the fact that Decker Kane doesn't seem to be, you know, prioritized in those bans at all. It's always like Decker Kane makes it in as a first pick, Decker Kane here, Decker Kane there. He's so impactful. We saw that in the last game. Once again, how many people were kept alive by those potions and by the disengage. And although his win rate doesn't really give you the whole idea, he's just the dominant support right now.
Indeedy. And looks like this website still hasn't updated on the RPG stats, so I have to do them manually. But the CE ones are up to date. Hooray. So, Reina and Blaze coming in for CE. This is a pretty common pickup for them. Blaze actually being their highest pick rate hero for the entire phase. KTY very much seems to like the hero.
Yeah, same can be said about Alufal and his Jimmy. He really feels exceptionally comfortable on Raynor. Right now, of course, we see Phoenix. Actually, Phoenix has vanished a little bit, hasn't he? Last week, he's been first pick, second pick, third pick almost every single time. And these days, he's actually saved for later for the most part, if he actually makes it to the draft at all.
RPG seem happy with him, though, picking him up. This will likely not be a DSL pick, as so far, I do not believe we've seen him play it. No, we did. We saw him play it in a... No, we played Jaina in that series. So yeah, we have seen him play Phoenix, so it could be him.
Yep, could be him. DSL, man, always a player to be on the lookout for. And speaking of, you know, other players in the league who have kind of diversified their hero pool and who have played heroes that they haven't played before, just wanted to mention BTG again, where they just swapped roles altogether in the middle of the series. DSL has a couple of mages that he's played in the past, right? He's no longer that one-trick pony that can only play Vala and other auto attackers. No, he actually played Junkrat in the past. And that's pretty cool to see. He's no longer that one-dimensional player. Cassia, though, being taken away from him already.
Very interesting. CE sniping the Cassia here. It's not obviously not a common pick for them because Cassia isn't that common. They haven't picked her this season, but I believe they did last season, which I will confirm. Yes, they did bring out the Cassia last season, where they played it 8 times, 4 wins and 4 losses.
Crazy. By the way, who's going to play main tank today for CE? Do you think it's going to be the same old with Zhuyu still on that role? Or do you think there's going to be another transition?
I'm very sure it's Zhuyu. That's gotta be a full-time swap at this point. After the performance comparison, I would be shocked if it wasn't.
Okay.
Which means we're going to see XTQ on Reina.
Yep, and Alufal is going to hop on the Cassia. It's pretty cool to see that. Zhuyu, of course, for the longest time was the team's ranged flex. Then he had a couple of play days and weeks as the team's melee flex. Then back on the ranged, and now main tank, because as we saw, Wind is currently pausing. Didn't retire altogether for Heroes of the Storm, but currently taking a break, prioritizing other things in his real life.
So DSL, he is likely going to be on the Junkrat, if I had to guess here, for this team. So far, a hero he is yet to pick up a victory on. So this could be interesting. I was also wrong about Phoenix. He has not played him yet.
All right, so unless they're going to bamboozle us, I think that should be the hero distribution. Tetcher. Prediction after seeing those drafts. Who's going to take game 1?
I think CE kind of rumbled RPG on like their target picks, so I'm leaning towards CE.
You're leaning towards CE, and I think I'll agree with you. I'm very much, I've got a soft spot in my heart for RPG, especially with the most recent performances they've shown us, but they have yet to convince me, and I do believe in CE recovering. They probably took that 1 week that they had and used it very wisely with Zeron doing everything he can to improve his voice.
Well then, we are heading into the Sky Temple, ladies and gentlemen, and spawning on the left-hand side, playing for CE. It is going to be a Luful, XTQ, 365, KTY, and Zhuyu.
Facing them are the rocket-propelled grenades with Free Show, MJ, Pa, C, and DSL.
Well then, we are prepared. We are heading into the match. And as such, I am curious to see how effectively RPG can pull off this comp, because synergy-wise, it just sort of works. It's a standard comp. It looks really good. Mobile offense coming in, by the way. Coming as we see Muradin getting absolutely massacred. Decker potions, pretty good. Gets a double, but a nice fend from Alufal. Achieves first blood.
And already, this is what I didn't want to see from either of the teams, actually. Sticking to that style, well, for CE, definitely paid off, but why would they all in commit to these fights in the middle, right? It's one of those Chinese things that we don't really see a lot in other regions, major regions at least. Like, what could he get there? Vision, right? But you also go for that risk, especially when you face so much CC coming in from Malfurion, from the Blaze, from the Anubrak. Like,
this is a comp I don't hate it. RPG, they had the Junkrat. This is a situation where they could have been easily the ones to get the kill. It was just a nice little lockdown onto the Muradin, really prevented that. And the potions won the perfect position, so it was a kill achieved. But it could have just as easily gone the other way around with this particular composition.
Yeah, usually the team wins the early game brawl, like the team with more CC, I should say. The team with more stuns and roots is usually going to be able to lock down a target more. And while I agree with you, the Junkrat can kind of sort of, knock people back and cause a lot of mayhem. I just really hope, like, for China's sake, as a region altogether, they just really learn from these mistakes and they won't do it. At least at an international tournament, they won't repeat those, because Korean teams and European teams in particular, they will capitalize on those mistakes heavily. Not like RPG isn't getting anything from that, though. That entire top lane has been demolished.
This duo lane up in top, getting some pretty decent value to start off with. RPG grabbing the entire front wall. Now they're going to move in for their bruiser camp. Time it, see if they can get a little bit more value, because if they can, they could, in theory, grab the fountain pre the objective starting, and that could be a big boon.
Fountains, man. This is probably one of the maps in which fountains matter the most, because if you don't have that in that respective lane, you're going to have to give up on temples more quite frequently here. And if you have to give up on temples, then you might fall behind. The enemy team could snowball a lead here.
CE should very much grab theirs without delaying at all. RPG would be much smarter to delay theirs, and it looks like exactly what's happening. But CE should grab theirs, because they're not going to be able to use it to fight under tower. If anything, time it with a minion wave. That might be the goal here. As a minion wave is arriving, you want the mercenary camp to be in relatively decent time of it. So I would have said a little bit earlier, but it looks like they're trying to play chicken with each other.
Staring contest. Who loses their calm here first? Using it first, yeah.
1, Deckard should move on now-ish in time for the objective. And then by this point, his camp should defend under towers. He might be a little bit slow. No, he's timed it very well. It's going to arrive almost perfect timing.
Yep, that was really solid by RPG. Merc timing par excellence. It really shows you how important the timing can sometimes be. Look at that. The entire blue mercenary camp has been dealt with already, and now it's going to be a massive wave per pushing on to the top lane. As we saw earlier, there's no more towers to actually keep those things at bay. While in the meantime, Urel also makes sure that they do not miss any tower shots. Blaze actually getting stalled here by Junkrat as well. Muradin getting into a nice tank battle around the Vision Tower.
Luful and 365 being pulled back. Zhu rotates up to help as well. So far, shots mostly taken by CE in that top lane. As such, the fort is weakened. Hard needs to be very careful, but is able to teleport away on that Phoenix. He's gone for a very interesting build here with this Phoenix, gaining that extra teleport when he gets a kill with the Warp Conduit, and then grabbing the attack speed with the Warp Warfare. This could, in theory, 3-show is fine. Good concussion mine by Junkrat. But yeah, he can combine this with the Adurnium Shell later on at level 13 for even more survivability too.
Yeah, very teleport-heavy build coming in from Phoenix, played by Pa, as you said. Interesting to see the efficiency of that and the value it gets them. Level 7 has hit for both teams. I mean, the talents that have. Now we see the Unstable Compound for Raynor. Whenever you have the feeling that you don't have enough slows, and in that case, there's only one slowing source. 2 if you put the Burrow Charge into count there as well. Blaze and Nubrak have a little bit of slowing, but not really the most reliable ones available. So I don't hate that decision. I think it's usually the talent that gives you most value in most gaming situations.
Another invade by CE, and with Yrel. Oh, nice little knockback into 4 range. So Yu is slow, but no one's in position for the kill. They're actually doing a lot of damage to him. Concussion mine for good measure. But yeah, Yrel has used this time to continue pushing top lane, but this was the opportunity that CE used. Seeing Yrel up top, they knew they had the advantage to move in and take the 5v4. And Yrel not even doing 4 damage there.
Yeah, no damage onto the fort, but the good thing is they were able to keep up with the soak, right? So although CE has been doing pretty well in terms of, getting Mercenary Camps, beautiful target switch onto Malfurion. The root is going to be good, but the heals are too nice there as well. Too many bodies for the Moonfires to get good value from. Now Phoenix all of a sudden in trouble. Yeah, that was a clutch one. I love these quick, target switches coming in from RPG, realizing which target is in a better position to focus on.
It's very cool to see. Free Show continues to hold vision. Neither of these players are global, so it's going to be a sort of game to see which one can wait up here the longest. Right now, CE making the most of their earlier level 10 to grab a huge chunk of the shots here. Cassia even rotating down. Finally, Junkrat's on the way as well. As with those mercs being killed, they will likely have level 10. There it is. And now they can try to move in.
All right, Salvo, Lorenado, Riptire. A lot of damage has been unlocked all of a sudden. All that needs to land is a slow here and there. Murden has one, for example. So let's see. Sacred Ground for Yrel. So preferring to have this static protection than a more situational one.
Salvo coming in. Riptire. Bunker is used there very effectively to block a huge amount of the damage. C being forced to back up. Free Show making the most of the Lornado, but moves out of the Sacred Ground, so takes a lot of damage from XTQ on the way out. Free Show in danger. Good knockup by the Anubrak. Beautiful route from Malfurion. And CE pick up yet another kill. C will escape here, but they are looking strong, and RPG seeming to struggle.
So unfortunate there, actually. C picked away the potion that could have maybe saved Yrel's life. They're pretty sure that was not intentionally done. But, Yrel, I mean, that's the problem when you don't pick the Ardent Defender. I mean, Sacred Ground was nice and all to basically tank and mitigate a little bit of damage underneath the enemy team's towers. But the moment you step away from it, it's basically going to be a wasted ability here. And Free Show immediately moved away because the damage was too much. In those situations, you're like, if only I picked Ardent Defender, man, maybe I could have actually done more and survived more. But as it is, the damage just simply hasn't been there. And XTQ on the Raynor, single-handedly melting the enemy frontline all by himself. He's looking mighty good this game.
He was left very alone. He was able to gain that kind of control. And this is the idea of the Sacred Ground, where Yrel is trying to control an area, but so far has not had the opportunity to do so. We see CE moving forward again. They found beautiful, absolutely beautiful CC train. Here comes a salvo, but with not really that much damage. Aloof was just able to tank through. Cocoon is a quick disengage.
Yeah.
And only down to half health. Everyone from CE is able to pull back.
It seems to me that C is getting poked down and chipped down before he can even make the move, right? Murden up to this point hasn't really been that factor where you're like, oh, that was a great engage. That was amazing. He baited so many abilities onto himself. But whenever he's about to make a play happen, he's already brought down to 50% HP. And you don't want to just waste and commit to an avatar just like that. So it's extremely hard for RPG to really find a grip onto their opponents right now.
They're still in it. They're only basically a full level behind, but that is a talent level, so a little bit of patience might be what we need.
Yeah, patience is of the essence here. The thing is, though, in Sky Temple, if you're too patient and you give your opponent's objective after objective, that's when they're going to snowball ahead, you know, with those temples just demolishing enemy structures. Now, KTY, he tried to bait a dive here because his teammates were already on the way. Looks like Free Show and DSL were not falling for it, at least not up to this point. Oh.
Yrel in trouble. Sacred get around, just keeping her alive. Once again, making use of the Lornado, but caught in a Malfruit. And, well, history repeats itself. Yrel goes down due to a Malfruit.
Yeah, I just gotta say, like, we haven't seen Malfurion at all today. It's always been, you know, Alex Grasa, White Mane, Decker Kane. But Malfurion, the old druid, is showing that he's still got what it takes to make the plays happen. And you're totally right, the CC potential, the clean stun initiation coming in from Nubrak for the most part, the follow-up routes by Malfurion, just super solid. And RPG can't really find a way to deal with that up to this point.
C dodging around, MJ also able to escape, but C finally locked down. Cocoon is there. And how well can C tank this? He's holding the line for the moment. Here comes the Salvo, wrapping around from the side. Lays a little bit of slow is applied, so damage onto Alufal is pretty good, and Alufal is taken out. DSL is dropping the damage, trying to turn this around. Free Show even able to escape. C, who was the initial target of this entire engagement, stands tall, or as tall as a dwarf can.
Haha, there we go. See, actually, for the first time in this game, I really felt like he was the playmaker, you know, absorbing all that damage like a good Murden is supposed to. That's really good turnaround by Alufal, by RPG. Now, Alufal falling as well in the Cassia. Overstill, he's welcome a little bit. In RPG, they're trying to not let that momentum go. They're trying to catch more people. A beautiful Sapphire slow into a root from Decker Kane. Is it going to be enough to execute completely in No Man's Land?
They're holding it together. RPG moving forward. The anti-heal from Deckard is good. They turn it round. They get the Raider. Pa using his movement speed boost. He gets wrecked by the Cocoon, though. Riptide does damage to 365. They might try and use this to push in further with that Riptide poke damage. But for now, CE, they're not out yet. Even though they're a person down, they're still looking to make the play. They move on to C. Huge damage is delivered, but armor from Yrel is too good, and C tanks through.
C tanks through, yet here comes the Fall Lightning, though it bounces happily, merrily between Murden and the rest of RPG, but the damage is not really out.
Salvo already back off cooldown, does huge damage. They continue to push through, looking for anyone but Tranquility. Keeps CE topped up. Raider is alive against C, dives very aggressively, very deeply. Able to dodge the side, more armor applied by Yrel, keeping them going. And this is going to be a retreat. Just over the wall. Free Show and C. Now the target. Free Show goes down. C. Dwarf tossing away. might get taken out here. Quick potion. Can KTY get in range? No, he can't, and only a single shot from the crossfire. So
Tetris, CE just brute forced their way through a 4 versus 5 the entire duration. For the first part, they had to fight without a Cassia. Then it was Raynor who was actually picked up as well. The entire time, they lacked damage, but it was still enough to actually make RPG sweat a little bit here and force them to retreat as well. Beautifully done, and I have to highlight the value coming in from Malfurion there. With that AoE sustain, he was actually brought down to almost 0 mana because he kept pumping out those heals and innervates. So that was really, really well done by C as a team effort, and they might have actually found DSL there as well.
They very much found DSL. It is going to be hard to mess this up. Down he goes, and that is another kill for CE. Level 16 on the way for RPG.
All right, things are starting to look mightily grim here for RPG. That team fight looked so good with a man advantage there, with Decker Kane providing potions, but that really seems to be the problem. Decker Kane can't keep up with the AoE healing that Malfurion provides in all those team fights.
He's trying his best, but like you said, they are struggling to be able to do it at this case, and CE. That AoE healing is pushing them through, as we do see C, though, wrapping around from the back. They might try and make a play here. Free Show is here. Remember, Junkrat is a little bit far out, as he's only just respawned. Salvo gets some damage, but not too much, as no slows were applied here. Already lost his shield, and C in danger. Riptide coming in from downtown, but no one's low enough to get anything. It's just used for wave clear.
Yeah, the only thing they were able to get here in that teamfight RPG, that is, was the Raider. You know, they got Jimmy's Banshee, but that's about it. Everyone else was able to escape, and they didn't even have to use anything, Tetra. Look at that. The bunker's ready, the Cocoon, the Tranquility, everything. They didn't have to burn any significant cooldowns. That's so admirable by CE. They look like the team that we claimed them to be. Oh, we can see, though. A dwarf knows no fear and hops in, steals away the siege chance. Small victory for RPG.
A small victory indeed. We see the ult cooldown reduction coming in for Phoenix on level 16, so more salvos, or just every ability cooldown reduction. So it might be able to make some decent plays with this if they can actually land these slows. Deckard has been doing a great job with his emeralds so far. Par in danger. He's rooted, so he can't teleport. Finally able to pull back, though. Deckard potions keeping him sustained. The Rel armor as well. Everyone is alive for RPG. They're on even talents. This is maybe their last chance to fight.
I agree. This is where they should really try to hold their ground, stand their ground as well.
We'll see.
Uh-oh.
Salvo. Avatar, not enough. So much damage. And with the cocoon on Phoenix preventing the salvo coming out, Par will get focused down. He will teleport, and that 50 armor can't help you if you've only got 5 health.
Oh boy, RPG is getting picked apart here, left, right, and center. CE, how aggressive are they? How willing are they to try and end this game? With the Beetles stalling some of the damage, intercepting the aggro. Now comes the Banshee as well. With all those summons, okay, that's actually an easy core now if they don't make any crucial misplays here. They don't have the bunker, though. They don't have tranquility, so no big sustain coming in, but does it even matter?
Riptire is mostly denied, very minimal damage onto XTQ, and with everyone pretty topped off, that is going to be game number 1 going over to CE in convincing fashion. 2-level lead, 9 kills to 2. They looked solid.
Really solid. I gotta say, that was probably one of those games in which I'm like, that is the CE that I know. That is the 2-time China champion that Tetra and I have been casting for a long time now. And RPG is not a bottom tier team by any means. They've shown us some sick games before, but this one was just not theirs.